All right, on to game number 1. We are playing up against Black Smoker. Generally, black decks are going to be very difficult for us to handle as a blue deck because we don't really have that many plays every single turn like you would with like red or green. But I do think that against Smoker specifically, we do have a good chance. Against Lucy, not so much. So here, we just swing 6. We're going to play out this 3-cost Dofi, fix the top cards of our deck. And I'm just trying to... I know that I want this Raging Tiger. I know that I want the Sengoku. So I'm just fixing it up based off of how my next couple of turns are going to go. If you do decide to play Boa, just understand that you are going to be doing a lot of those type of effects. You are running Perona, the 1-cost Perona. You are running the 3-cost Dovi. So those are going to be your primary ways, along with you're running the 1-cost Buggy as well. So like you have 3 different ways of stacking the top of your deck. And because of your leader effect going off of 5 cards or less in your hand, whenever you remove a card or bounce a card, you want to make sure that you're stacking properly. Here, they do just Tashigi for the last turn and everything. We're still just trying to throw on some pressure. We're still just worrying about their board too. Having 2 blockers here is good because it allows us to guarantee that we're going to be able to block out of a attack. So this one I just take. I could have countered out, but I do want to keep the Jozu as a just in case for later on down the line. If I need to, I can bounce back like a Rebecca if I absolutely have to, or a Borsalino. But here we just go Raging Tiger, and then we're going 5 into 3. We were able to get rid of some cards, be able to draw the Dofi that we knew was on top of our deck, and then we just got a second Dofi. So we are running Dofi, the 7-drop Dofi, over the the other 7-drop that you run from Dressrosa, solely because it's searchable and it hits 7 cost or less. Yes, it's 2k less power, but you're able to bounce a 7 cost or less, and with green purple Luffy running around a lot, that is very, very handy. It's kind of your main way of getting rid of Sanji and Puddings, and it forces them to have to use an entire another turn to set up again with 1 Sanji and Pudding. So here we're just figuring out our Dawn, so we know that we are just going to play out one of these Dofis. So we're going to swing 8. They do take, and then we play out a Dofi, and then we do get to draw into another 2k. So here they do play the new EB02 card, the 7-drop Sengoku, that allows them to be able to play out of their trash. So they do get a Hina from their trash, and then they're swinging 5 at me with their Garp. So I will use the Jozu just to counter out, and then I'm just going to block her out of their leader swing. Here, I do have another Raging Tiger, but I really don't want to have to use it right now if I don't have to. So I'm just thinking I could play the 7-drop Dofi, be able to bounce the Sengoku, and then I'll have 3 Dawn left over that I can use to be able to remove the other 2 bodies. Yes, they do get the Sengoku back, but we at least get to get a couple cards out of their hand, and we get to remove at least 2 bodies this turn. So there, they gave us 2 cards, a 2k, 1k. And then here we go 5 into 4. The reason why we're doing 5 into 4 is so that way then we can get more cards out of their hand, because now we go 4 into 4. So That's perfect right there. We got 4 cards out of their hand that turn. We did remove a body, and we were able to establish another body on our turn. And we are still at 6 cards in hand. So here, they do get another Hina. And then they go 5 at us. We're gonna take that one. They're gonna go 8 at us. We're gonna take that one. So we're down to 1 life. And we have a bunch of cards in hand. So we do have 6k encounter. We do have a blocker. And here we're just still gonna be focused on their board a little bit. So now I'm just thinking, so here I go 7 and a 7 into their Sengoku because it is a blocker and I want to get a card out of their hand. That way then I can still clear a body. I'm going to play out this blocker and then I'm just going to send back both Hinas. So I got rid of 3 cards on their field and a card out of their hand. So here they do play another Sengoku. They did get a Borsalino from Grave. Sadly, because we do play quite a few 1-drops, the Smoker's Leader effect is constantly on. So they're, for 1 Dawn, just swinging 7k at us perpetually. So we do just block her out of that. Here we do have 10,000 worlds, so there's a couple different things that we can do. I do want to play out another blocker. So that is going to leave us effectively 3 Dawn. So here I just go 7 and 7. They do give me a card. Now I'm going 9 into 7. So that effectively guarantees it because they don't want to use both of their cards in hand if they do have a 2k, 1k. Then here I play out our blocker first so I can fix the top cards, because then I'm just going to use our 4-cost event, get rid of something, and get a second blocker. So now they play out a Kuzan, and they're going to swing 7. We're just going to block with the 1-drop Law, since they -1 that anyway. Here they're going 5 at us, so we'll just 1k out. They got 3 Dawn left, so here they decide to be aggressive and try to get rid of one of our Dofis, so we're just going to block out. And we do draw into a Mihawk. So first I'm going to swing 7. I want to see if I can get a card out of their hand. They just give it to me. So I'm like, that's perfectly fine here, because now I'll just go 5 into 3, 7 at face, and then I'll just play this 9-drop Mihawk, bottom deck your Kuzan, get to draw a free card. That's perfect. So here they go Kuzan again into a Rebecca, which drew them the Sengoku from trash. They didn't play anything from Rebecca effect, and then they swing 8. But effectively, this is over because we did have the 4-cost event, the 10,000 worlds. So now we're going to swing 7 first. So that way then we can get at least 2 cards out of their hand, which we did. So here we're going to swing 7 again. They take. I'm going to swing 8. That way then, in case they do counter out of this one, which they just miscount it. All right, so game number 2, we are against Carrot. Personally, I love Carrot as a deck, and she is one of my favorite characters from the anime as well. But as a deck, the little bit of support that she did get in EB02, I think matters a lot. The new one drop that they got of Carrot, being able to look at the top 7 and play the stage for free is huge for the stun variant of the Carrot build, which I do think is starting to become a lot more popular. So here we're now at 5 Dawn. They do have a blocker. They are playing the 2-cost blocker carrot. We didn't play our 3-cost or 3-drop on the previous turn because they already had a Minx on the field, so I really didn't want it to just immediately get killed. And then here we just play out the pudding. They play the 5-drop carrot after tapping down our pudding, and then they swing into it, so we just give it up. There's no reason of countering out for that. So here I'm just counting my Dawn, so I'm gonna swing 5 first to see what they do. So they do take, and then I'm gonna play out the 3-cost Dofi right now, fix up the top cards of my deck, and then I'm just going to play the 10,000 Worlds, bottom deck their carrot. So here, they do tap down, they play a second carrot, and they swing 6 into 4 again into our blocker, so we just give that as well. And then they play a Rocinante blocker. So here we're at 9 Dawn. We can just swing 5 and then gain a lot of tempo by just playing out this 9-drop, be able to bottom deck their 5-drop carrot. So here they play out a Dofi, freezing our leader just so they can be able to get out a 10-drop. So we're at 10 Dawn. There's a couple different things that we can do here. So I'm thinking about playing out the 7-drop because at that point I can be able to bounce one of their blockers. So here I do start off with the 3-cost Doflamingo. I'm fixing the top of my deck. I do want that Raging Tiger. So here I'm going to draw into the 2K. Then start of next turn, I'll draw the Raging Tiger, in which case I draw into more counter as well for that same turn. So we do play out the 7-drop. We bounce their carrot blockers, so that way then they have to use 2 Dawn if they want to be able to use leader effect, which is what they do on this turn. And then they play out the 4-cost Ryoma. So here they're going 9. So we're just going to take that one. Then they go 10. And I am going to counter out with 3 2Ks because I don't want to go down to 2 right now. And then here I'm going to Raging Tiger both of their blockers, leaving me 3 Dawn, but I'm just going to swing 12 into their big body, try to get 2 cards out of their hand, which I do. So then I'm going to swing 5 at face, then 7 at face. So they do counter out of the 7. So they're still at only 2 cards left in hand with 2 life. They do play the 9-cost Shanks, killing our Mihawk. And then they swing and they get rid of our Dofi as well. We're going to counter out of their leader swing. And then we'll take the Ryoma. So here, we're going to play out the Sengoku. I hover over the Red Rock because I really wish that that's the card that I would have drawn for turn. That would have been huge. Sadly, we know that one's going to the bottom of our deck. We do get a 1-drop blocker though. So here, I'm thinking I'll probably just go Law, bounce the Ryoma, because they don't have a Minx that I know of yet. So here, I'm just gonna swing 5, play out the Law, bounce the Ryoma, get a draw, play out the blocker Law, play out the Sengoku, see what I find, and then play out this Dofi to fix the top so I know what I'm going to be drawing next turn. So here I don't want to draw into that 1-drop blocker because we have a Raging Tiger, we have a 10,000 Worlds, and we have a Law, so we know that we're going to be able to bounce something next turn most likely. There we finally get a Red Rock. We are going to block her out of the second swing. They do play the Milky, and then they KO with Ryoma, so we know that, you know, they don't have a 2K in hand from them playing that Milky, so that's one less card, or one less 2K that we have to worry about. So here, couple tough decisions. So really, I'm pretty sure that we can just go for game. So here, that's why I'm counting my Dawn. So I start with a 7K swing with the Sengoku. They take it. So then I go, okay, 7K again with the Dofi, and then 7K with Boa. All right, so game number 3 is against a other rogue deck, the blue-green Zoro and Sanji. So here they're swinging 8. I decide to take that one. And then I'm just going to swing 6, play out a blocker, fix the top cards of my deck. So I want to put 2Ks up there because we have a decent number, or we do have 2 really good bounce cards in our hand already. So we also have a pudding too, so we're thinking about doing pudding. So here they go 5. So I'm just thinking, what do I want to give up as counter? So I just give up a 2K. And then they're playing the Vivi that came from EB02, the one that if your leader is multicolored, you get to just draw 2 cards. After seeing it being played in this deck and everything, I now realize that it's really strong in decks that can abuse it, such as this Zoro and Sanji. So there, we just pudding, and then we swung. So now they still have a total of 7 cards in hand, but now I don't have to worry too much. And then they play this Sanji's Pilaf, getting to draw 2. And then they're swinging 5. I'm just gonna 1K out with the Jozu. And then they play out a Tashigi and another blocker. So here we're on 8 Dawn. I'm just thinking, how do I want to do this? So I'm gonna swing 5 first with the pudding. So they do give me counter right there. So then from here, I'm just going to swing 8. They do give me one of their blockers, and then I'm gonna bounce the pudding and bounce their Tashigi. That way then they have to spend 3 more Dawn if they want to put it back on the field, and this way I have pudding in my hand, knowing that this matchup is feeling like it's gonna go a lot longer and be more about tempo and hand advantage. So here we just counter out of their swing. They do play a Raging Tiger of their own. So now we're just trying to count again. What do we want to do here? So I'm thinking I could play out this 7 drop, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to swing 8. They give me one of their blockers, and then I just bounce the Rosinante back. Here they go 5. We're just going to 2K out of that. And then they just threw down 3 cards. So that is a 5-drop kid that has the similar effect to the 8-drop kid, but can't rest itself to play a card. So here we're just thinking, how can we get rid of that? So with us being at 10 Dawn, we could Law, bounce our blocker, bounce their Tashigi, and then Red Rock to get rid of that kid so we don't have to worry about it. And then we're just swinging 5. They give us counter, then swing 7. They give us the blocker. So this matchup is a bunch of back and forth. Here they're going 9 into 7. Sadly, I can't counter out of that one, so I just give that to them. They did bounce the VV and then replayed it, and then they played out a 3-drop Dofi blocker. So here I'm thinking about putting in Jozu. So I start off with a 5k swing with the Law. They do give me the Tashigi counter. I swing again, they give me another Tashigi counter. So now I'm just playing out the 1-drop Law into the Mihawk, bottom decking their VV so they can't use it again. So here they go 6 into 5, so we're just gonna 2k out of that one. They play another peel off, and then they play a red rock, getting rid of our Mihawk. So here we're just going to play out the 7-drop Dofi, be able to bounce their blocker, swing 5, then we're going to swing 7. They do counter out of that one, and then play out another 1-drop Law. So here they go 6 again. I'm just going to blocker out of that one. They do play the kid, and then they play the You Can Be My Samurai to be able to tap down the kid. So here we had to reread it, and then they did have a Tashigi as well. So we're going to have to Law, bounce our 1-drop Law, and then I was thinking about Jozu, but I decided to just red rock. And then I'm just still swinging in, trying to get those cards out of their hand. I put them down to 0. So here they go 5 into 5. We're gonna give them 1k. They do play the 8-drop kid, but this is pretty much game here. So I think I go 10 first. They're gonna give me the blocker. I go 10 again, and that's game.